Years ago, I was invited to an elementary school to read poems unpacking white supremacy for a class of mostly white fifth graders on Martin Luther King Day. As I was reading, a little girl's face fell into her hands and she cried, "We are so bad." I still don't know if my response was the right one because 12 years have passed and I still don't know what the right response would have been. At what age do we become responsible? On a highway somewhere that could be anywhere, my friend gets pulled over driving while black, and I watch the slow tremble of her hand walk a tightrope of air towards the registration in the glove box, her voice whittled down to the faint whisper of someone with 400 years of mortar aimed at her head. That night, I wake over and over, tangled in my sheet. Each time I tear the sheet off, I instill its color. Lately, I only trust my skin when it is red with rage. A cop from Ferguson pulls me aside after a show and asks if I'd be willing to spend a day in the patrol car to gain a more well-rounded perspective. And I imagine a bullet rounding the corner to quarter the skull of a boy, his mother's body rounding over his casket, white nationalists rounding a monument to Robert E. Lee, a billionaire rounding up Nazis to vote. The part of the poem when the little girl broke down was the part about the metal collars once locked around the necks of black slaves, the white woman in Louisiana who collected them, hung them on her wall as decorations, some of them as small as any of our hands, rounded into an O. I know what you're thinking, and I agree. That isn't something children should have to know, especially the children who have no choice not to know it, whose great-grandchildren still have to teach the children to walk home from school with their hands up, lest the bullet find them guilty of joy, lest they reach their own lives like they own them, while the president's tongue swings like a nightstick in broad daylight, while he unravels the noose and asks to touch the dead's hair, while he tweets his prayers for Houston, for Florida, knowing thousands undocumented will refuse to evacuate the eye of a hurricane, now a safer refuge than my country, knowing your name. America, look at the noose you have made of your bootstraps. The morgue pinning flowers on prom suits, Greenpeace charged with eco-terrorism for protesting the pipeline to the pulse of the only people who belong here. In the fifth grade, the Native kids in my class had to stand up beside me and pledge allegiance to their own genocide, while the teachers taught us hate was an animal gone extinct, history, a book we could slam shut when the bell rang for recess, and still so many not safe to speak. 5-year-olds running home from kindergarten to teach their parents how to enroll their R's into safety nets. There is no age that would have been too young for me to learn. Every time I hold my tongue, I am holding a whip. Every time I close my eyes, I am closing a casket. When this country is an anthem to my skin, when I am free to say anything, I can even holler it into a microphone, and the cops will invite me for a ride, telling me I can sit in the front seat. If I had gone, I imagine they would have even bought me coffee somewhere within screaming distance of where Mike Brown's body bled to the pavement, his mother still wailing, his father still wailing, and telling the story about how his son called him just weeks before he died to say the clouds were the shape of an angel running into the face of God. "Dad, I'm serious," he said. Then he sent his father a photo of the sky.